Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through the Carlton vs Brisbane beatdown, I guess, that happened at, I think it was Icon Park. I think I'm reading here, IKP, Icon Park, I think that is, as that would make sense with Carlton's home ground. And Brisbane ended up winning by 55 points, an absolute smashing in what was one of the easier games to predict. So yeah, it was an absolute smashing, and it was actually a surprise that I think a couple of the sort of younger Brisbane girls actually stood up a lot in Mullins, and also to a certain extent Hartle. Hartle ended up with 11 tackles. Yeah, the backup ruckman ending up with the most tackles in a game, as well as the other ruckman Hickey ending up with the two ruckmen combined for 18 tackles, and the two ruckmen for Carlton ended up with 7. So that's where the difference was. The ruckmen were the difference. The 11 tackles more that they laid. Obviously not, but that's just a weird thing to look at. But anyway, let's just jump into this. Shearer, 27 touches, 2 marks, 4 tackles, 87. And you can just see here, it's just sort of like a meh. It's not really a good enough score, not really a bad score. And so, yeah. And that's the really thing about this sort of double game weeks is you're like, do you really want to, like, outside of Conti, Riddell, Rowbottom, Garner, and Marinoff, there's not really many other girls that I really want to have in the midfield. Like, let's look at that right here, right now. Let's look at the midfield. Let's look at the average. You got Marinoff, Riddell, Rowbottom, Garner. Ali Anderson's still coming down from what she did score to start. Like, look at that. She scored... In her last 3, her average is 95. Her last 5, her average would be a little bit lower, I would think. Let me just bring up the points. 77 plus 98 plus 80 plus 113 plus 93. Divide that by 5. She's averaging 92 in her last 5. If she goes on that trend again, she's got a probably near enough average around about the 100 marker. Laura Gardner's out for the year. Ash McCarthy or Ainsley McCarthy is still averaging 100. One Conti is there, but and McCarthy is riding a little bit off this 139. She's come back strong in the last couple of weeks and averaged 100 odd, and she's probably going to go big this weekend. But yeah, there's not many girls that I'm looking here and going, I really want them. Like, then you have to result back to like the Blackburns and the Benicis and the Roberts who scored well recently. You can see that, but yeah. Like, it's sort of bleak, I would say, almost to a certain extent. You see Shearer, King. So, because of the double and because of probably Marinoff blowing expectations out of the water with a 1.54 last night, that was ridiculous. It even got upgraded again, I think. Or did she might have got a tackle late or something like that. But anyway, these midfielders like Shearer and Goering scoring 80, averaging 90 odd, which wasn't bad about a season or two ago. It's sort of just meh because, yeah, there's about 4 or 5 girls that are just scoring well and above of everyone else, and outside of that, or even just 3 or 4, and then it's sort of just a luck of the draw out of the other sort of M4, M5 spots, I would say. Goering 83 in this year, this just exactly what I'm talking about. Goering's probably going to average 85, 90 for the year, which is good, but it's not sort of up there in terms of the top of the line. Good 71, Hill 64, Keck, Robertson, Maloney, Vesio put in a decent shift of a 47. Dersma, 46, so she's probably going to start making cash, but knowing that, she's probably going to start losing cash because I probably just jinxed her. Diana Finn's 46, probably time to move on for those that have her. She's made enough cash and time to move her on. Tiny Brown, 43, I did like the way that she was going about it, but as sort of a pressure forward, I would think, from her role, from what I remember of this game, even though this game I think happened on the Friday night. Yeah, you see pressure forward there. So, yeah. But she's just not going to score enough to be ever fancy relevant outside of when she initially got off her rookie price. Fitzgerald, pound back down to earth. She was scoring, I think she scored 160 in the double, and has now scored 42 after that. So, yeah, back down. Skepper, 41. So, yeah, watch her. Was Skepper the one that was scoring well, or was it Shearer that was just constantly scoring well? Let's just look. Yeah, it was Shearer that was scoring well, and not Skepper. But Skepper still scored pretty all right in the double with an 81-70. So it's not like she scored outlandishly poor, but outside of that, yeah, just see 0 CBAs for her is going to probably make her struggle, I would think. given that. But anyway, who's this we're looking at here? That's Tiny Brown stuff. Anyway, there we go. Get rid of that. Anthony, 41, Goss, Mia Austin, Cordner, Lawson Devine, Dalpos, and Hendry. Then we move over to Brisbane, and you see Mullins here, 104. This was really surprising. She just hung out on a wing and just no one bothered to touch her. It was as simple as that. They just left her in so much space. I was just like, they're just going to kick it to Mullins. They're just going to kick it to Mullins again. And she just marked everything and moved it on the wing, got it to half forward, and that was it. As simple as that. And that was one of the easiest non-touched 20-odd disposal games that 23 disposal games that I've ever seen, or 100 fancy points that I've ever seen. Like, it was on the level of someone just, like a halfback, just not getting touched and just distributing the ball. It was that easy for her. Anderson, 93, 19 touches, 8 tackles. She was, again, a pretty big component of the victory, but then again, not scoring enough to be fancy. Like, how do I frame this, I guess, is the big point, is that her 90s are good enough, and we've seen this before with her. I clicked the wrong button, but I'll be able to get out of it. We've seen this before with her last year. If we look, 96 average, but you see this 96 buffeted by 6 tons, but it was a 96 average with 6 tons, whereas she's gone 3 tons this year. Is that 3 tons plus a 120, or is that 3 tons in general? Let me just double check. No, that's just 3 tons, so it's inclusive. So, like, you just see last year what she was doing here. Where is it? Here. In 14 games, she had 6 tons, but that was all of last year. Her lowest score was a 75. She's still gone higher this year, but she's also had this big 160. If you knock that 160 off, then she's averaging about 95 this year. Like, if you just knock it off or knock it down to about 100, she's averaging 95 this year. So I think that big score, that 160, sort of gave her a little bit too much of a leg up for what we sort of expected out of her, just given the how Brisbane played, I think. So, I sort of feel like she's a 95, sort of 98 type of average, but she's currently averaging 105. But, we've seen that multiple years. Last year, she averaged 96. The year before that, averaged 87. And sort of had a similar year, just a little bit less spike games. If we look at the year before that, she had a 67 and a 47 kind of killed that. You take that 47 out of there, and it would be 12 games at, I would think, 12 games, probably at 92 or so, if you take that 47 out. So, yeah, you can sort of see that she's always in that 90 to 98 sort of bracket if you take out that 160 and the 47. So she's always been in and around that bracket. I just think that 160 sort of elevated her above everyone else, or elevated her above her average for a long time, and she's been able to slightly sustain it because she is really a high floor scorer. But I don't think she, outside of that 161, she hasn't really shown in the last sort of 18 to 24 months that she can really score, as her 138 in season 7 came in this game against the GWS Giants when they were absolutely horrific. When was it? Do we have a date? Round 3, season 7. Let me bring that up, because that might be 18 to 24 months ago that she hasn't really scored for. But anyway, let's finish this recap up here by just going through the rest of it. I'm just quickly trying to find the season 7 round 3 was in September, so basically 24 months, 25 months. She scored one score of about 115 or 116, and outside of that, it's sort of been 110s. So anyway, Ali Anderson, high floor, lower ceiling outside of that big score that she had. Conway, Higgy, Hartle with 76. She was amazing. 11 tackles is absolutely huge. I'm pretty sure if you look at the stats for it, you'll find that she had, I think it was a good 40 or so in the last quarter, but I just want to double check with that. Let me bring it down here. Let me just check what were the last quarter stats. Hartle had actually only 25 in the last quarter. It was also 22 she was actually very consistent. Now looking at it, I thought it was slightly different. Hartle 12 in the second, and also, 17 in the first. So she had 17, 12, 22, 25. I think it was 29, 140. Yeah, that adds up to 76. So yeah, she was just absolutely amazing and really good cash gen. And now she has a low break even, hopefully, for some more cash gen. Savak, Dawes, Conan, Grider, Hodder, Davidson, Savak, Postlethwaite, Hampson, Ellinger again back down to a 45. So again, showing that she isn't that definite scorer, and she will have those really low games. So yeah, there's that. Bolt, Long, Dunn, Campbell, Peterson, Smith. So that is the video there going through the Carlton versus Brisbane game. If you guys did enjoy the recap of it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I'll see you guys in the next recap tomorrow. Bye guys.